2025 has been a very eventful year for myself and this channel. Within the past few months, I've been dropping videos consistently about games I've played and games I've never played before. However, I wanted to do a video just focusing on games I've played in 2025 that released in 2025. And there are some exceptions to this rule, and it isn't the end-all be-all, but I try to be flexible with this. And this video is just a concept video in the sense of I just wanted to do it. And I want to do more videos like this, especially yearly videos that reviewed what I've done this year. Since this channel is focused on gaming, I thought, why not just do a video on games I've played in 2025 that released in 2025. And since I'm not following a script, I'll try my best to stay on topic and not ramble on too much like I already have. If you do like this video, please be sure to like, subscribe, because it helps. And leave a comment on what I could do better. So we're starting with a unique one, Nine Kings. I call this unique because it's still in early access. It's a different game from everything else on this list. Nine Kings is a roguelike tower defense game. Really cool concept, and I enjoyed playing this when it first came out. Obviously, something like this can only keep my, well, not obviously, but a game like Nine Kings can only keep my attention for so long, but it got enough of my attention for me to respect the game for what it is. And I can't say I had a bad experience in the sense of it's a bad game. The only bad experience I've had with this game is the experiences I created by making the game harder for myself. But outside of that, Nine Kings is an amazing game. It's still in early access. I don't imagine it's gonna get any better than it is right now because of what it is. But it's a solid game, and if you enjoy roguelikes and tower defense games, I'll recommend this game for anyone. Next up, Blueprints. It's a clever game. Put it that way. It's one of those clever games. Blueprints. And the game is really about blueprints. So, you know, the name itself is just the game being clever. It's a roguelike just like Nine Kings. But unlike Nine Kings, you're more of an exploration roguelike. So there is no combat, you're not fighting anything, you're exploring, you're trying to find the optimal path to the goal. And what I like about this game is that each playthrough is different. And because it's roguelike, but let me rephrase that. Even though it's a roguelike, there are many roguelike games that you can play similarly. Blueprints, for the most part, each playthrough is very unique. And there are certain parts of the game you unlock, and you unlock them forever for your playthrough. That's a nice touch, and it adds more depth to the game because you can create your path to that goal. But back to the main point. It's an actual roguelike. You're going to have a hard time experiencing the same playthroughs. But like every other roguelikes, eventually it just becomes and that's what happened with Blueprints for me. Eventually it was just an okay game, and there's only so much that can be done. But from what I played with Blueprints, I enjoyed it. If you enjoy roguelikes and you just want something light, it is a roguelike light. It's a casual game. It isn't intense, it's just a memory game, casual game, planning game, a puzzle game. And next up is South of Midnight. South of Midnight is a game I didn't complete. Not because I didn't like it, but because I lost interest. But it's a single player game. The art style is unique, it's good, and the story is good too. But it's not memorable enough. That's what it is. South of Midnight is not a memorable game. And that's just the nature of, I guess it's an indie game. Maybe, I don't think it's a big publisher. Well, maybe it was on Game Pass. I don't imagine it's a big publisher or a big developer, but it's a it's a solid game all around. It's not the biggest game, it's not the most unique game, but it's a solid game to fill out 2025. Like it's a game that released in 2025 and it's probably gonna stay in 2025. It's not great, but it's not bad. It's not, I don't want to say it's mid. Nice. But it's solid. There's nothing about the game I would say is bad, but there's nothing about the game I would say is great. That's my final thoughts on South of Midnight. Will I ever revisit it? Probably not, because that's just not who I am. But if you enjoy single player games, story is fun, gameplay is pretty good, it's solid. Next up is Dispatch. Dispatch is one of, I think, ironically enough, an overhyped game. It's a Telltale game, but it evolved, especially in the gameplay aspect. And it's the best and the most unique part of the game in my opinion. And that's the gameplay as a dispatcher. It's a fun play. It's a fun gameplay mechanic to include in the Telltale game. And I would love to see something like that returning. But my criticism, like with all Telltale games, is that choices don't feel like they impact very much. I feel like with the Dispatch gameplay itself, it has so much potential to affect the world around you. And I would hope that the developers try to do something with that, where you fail a mission and the world changes because you failed this mission. And it isn't like a major mission. It should be a small mission. Because in the game itself, yes, major missions, I don't know exactly if failure of a major mission actually changes anything in Dispatch. You might have to restart. But outside of that, I just hope and wish that in future games, especially Telltale games, the choices affect more. Because we have Detroit Become Human, and that game is way bigger, on a way bigger scale, and it has way more choices. So for Telltale games, I feel like they don't rely that much on graphics and aesthetics and so much different things like Detroit Become Human. At least the choices should be very diverse and hundreds of possibilities. That's how I feel Telltale games should be, especially going forward. Next up, Avowed. Avowed. The thing about Avowed is that I feel like it could have been more, but it's just enough. And the crazy part is, Avowed had been marketed for months, almost years, or at least 6 months before its release. Heavily marketed. And by the end of 2025, I had already forgotten that I played this game and that this game released in 2025. And that's not a good thing. Especially of the caliber of Obsidian. Now, Obsidian are in their comfort zone, especially with Avowed. What frustrates me most about Obsidian games, the world is always being told to you through narrative. So it's always expositionary. So you're always getting this word, you're just getting a lot of information just being spoken to you. And for me, it should be more than that. In the sense of it should or it could be in just showing you. Why can't we get a bunch of lore that is being shown to us? And that's my biggest gripe with Avowed, outside of the fact that I forgot that I played the game. It's rich in lore, and that richness could be expressed in different ways outside of narrations, in my opinion. But outside of that, Avowed gameplay is solid. The world is pretty damn beautiful. But again, nothing stands out. Nothing in particular is memorable about Avowed. It just didn't find a place in my heart. Let's say that. It didn't find a place in my heart. The next up is Borderlands 4. This one is This one's a late release. It released in September, October? I played a lot of it. I enjoyed a lot of it. The gameplay in Borderlands 4 is top tier in my opinion. The story is not memorable. It's my opinion, the story is more tolerable than Borderlands 3. Some people might take that as a hot take, but at least 3 was memorable, I guess. 3 had so much issues with its story that it's frustrating. Borderlands 4's story didn't try to do too much. Let's put it that way. The story in Borderlands 4 didn't try to do too much. It just played it safe. You had a villain, did this, it had a small little plot twist, but outside of that, what Borderlands 4 did was have amazing gameplay. Exploration can be argued as good. Like the first playthrough for exploration is fine. When you have to play a different character and explore again, not my cup of tea. That's where Borderlands 4 loses me. I want to play the different characters, but it takes so much out of me to enjoy exploring everything else again on a different character. Maybe with the new DLC character I'll probably enjoy and replay, but as of right now, I have a hard time revisiting Borderlands 4. And this is an issue because Borderlands 4, you can obviously see that they've tried to retain the player base. Destiny does it way better. I hate to admit it, but being able to create a character and play through the game, somehow Destiny does that way better than Borderlands. And it could just be that Borderlands 4, the scale of the world is too big. And if you want to re-explore that world in a different character, you have to guarantee yourself 20-30 hours to explore. I'm not even talking about doing the story and all of that. I don't know what Borderlands could do, for me at least. It just doesn't hit that mark of there's 4 characters, I want to replay those 4 characters. It just feels like a chore, and that's the problem I have with Borderlands 4. But like I said before, Borderlands 4 gameplay is pretty damn good. Traversal is pretty damn good. I enjoy playing Borderlands 4 when I play it. Next up is R.E.P.O. This game is fun. It's surprisingly fun for me. Usually I don't enjoy playing these games, especially if it's a horror game, but it's a fun horror game. And it's always fun to play a horror game with a friend. And that's the only way I could genuinely enjoy R.E.P.O. is playing with others, especially friends. Because you can have some genuine stupid moments and you can genuinely be scared. But what limits R.E.P.O. for me is the fact that it's a horror game. And like with many horror games for me, eventually you get overexposed to everything and it just isn't as scary. I remember the first time I played R.E.P.O, I was petrified. I didn't want to mess up, I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to stay in a corner and hide. Mainly because I didn't know what was going on. And then, flashback a few months later and I revisit the game with a friend, honestly I couldn't care less if I died. The allure of a game like R.E.P.O, especially when it's horror, it relies on scaring you and the element of surprise. And the moment you just get enough exposure to the game, the appeal of the horror just disappears. But outside of that, it's a great game to play with your friends. And that's all I have to say about R.E.P.O. Next up is Outer Worlds 2. Another game that released in late 2025. So, my knowledge about this game is fresh. Outer Worlds 2 just builds upon Outer Worlds 1, in my opinion. It's way more fun. It's way more enjoyable to play. I will say that. Gameplay is much better. It's a game that you can see a lot of hard work was put in, and enough hard work was put in that they start having unique weapons and gear and stuff like that in the game. So you can tell that the developers had a lot of thought in everything they did with Outer Worlds 2. And I'll always appreciate that for any developer. You can tell that the developers spent a lot of time polishing the game itself when there's a bunch of stupid stuff that makes no sense in terms of like gear. Especially when it's RPG. When there's gear that is just there to troll and makes no sense, that's how you know the developers just put in a bunch of time and just polished it and combed over everything and went through the works to figure out what is broken, what is not broken, what is foolish, what is not foolish, what is serious, what is not serious, stuff like that. And Outer Worlds 2 is a really fun game in my opinion. It still suffers from the Avowed or the Obsidian trait, which is the game isn't particularly spectacular, but it's a solid game. But it's above mid, in my opinion. It's above mid. It's solid above mid. And the final game, GTA 6. Woo! Pew 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 pew. GTA 6. Oh yeah, this one. Well, I would probably put GTA 6 here if GTA 6 was released in 2025. But no GTA 6, so well, I guess I have to go for the obvious one. Expedition 33. I remember playing this game on release. I even did a video on this game. Yeah, it's privated. Either way, I did a video on this game and I'll say this. It is a game of the perfect combination of timing and what it is. It's a game that could easily have been overlooked, but it somehow managed to get all the mainstream attention and the player base talking about it. Suspicious? Maybe. But it deserves all the hype it's gotten around it. So it's a good game that happened to have great marketing at the same time. And for me, what makes Expedition 33 so great is that it does what JRPGs do, but better. And when I say better, I mean it's way less convoluted. Let's take Persona games, for example. Those games are like what? Hundreds of hours with a bunch of side things to do. Expedition 33 isn't like that. It's a game that is focused on the story, the main story, and you should progress the story. You could do a little bit of side quests and side stuff, but outside of that, you're progressing the story. And it's very linear and it isn't too much. My problem with JRPGs, and it's always going to be my biggest problem with JRPGs until they do something about it, is that you can spend 20 to 40 hours on the first act because I don't know. Something about JRPGs, they always feel like it's a lot. And in all fairness, that's what make them good. That's why people love them. But it's also why I dislike them. But I could still enjoy them. Like, I enjoyed Metaphor. I enjoyed Persona 5, the gacha, and the main game. Expedition 33 just does it way better for my taste. And story is amazing, voice acting is amazing, gameplay is pretty solid. In a way, you can compare it to JRPGs, especially Persona games. It doesn't do anything unique. That's why I say Expedition 33 is a perfect combination of marketing and the game. Everything just lined up and it just so happened to blow up because it's a game that could have easily have been overlooked. It could have been a sleeper great game that no one ever touches, but everything just aligned. We have Expedition 33 winning awards after awards after awards to the point where people are combing through fine print just to give them a reason not to give them an award. But that is it. Games of Nelous' 2025. What game of 2025 that you played in 2025 you enjoyed? For me, it has to be Expedition 33. You know what? For me, it has to be Outer Worlds 2. I'll be real. I'm not even gonna follow the trend. I'll be real. It has to be Outer Worlds 2 or Borderlands 4. Those are my games of 2025. What's yours? Let me know down in the comments down below. And if you like this video, please be sure to like. And if you haven't subscribed, please be sure to subscribe because I need it, man. It's hard out here. It's rough out here. I'm living peaked. I'm lying. It's rough out here. But subscribe just helps. So you get and hit the notification bell so you get notified every time I drop a video because I drop a video every week. But yeah, thank you for watching. See you in the next one.